Draft day, draft day, draft day. Welcome to the Tim Show. Today I'm going to speak on the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. Yes, it was a lot of controversy, and I will get to that on the back end of this episode. But first, I got to start with my Kansas City Chiefs. We were drafting 31st because we were the Super Bowl losers. But the Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles, was intrigued to move up one spot, so Brett Veach did it. And we received a fifth round pick to go down from 31 to 32 to select the same guy that we were going to select at 31. Not mad at it. And I'm sure Brett Veach is not done with some draft day deals, especially now that we have 8 picks to maneuver and get the guys that we like throughout the combine and pro days and et cetera, et cetera. But yes, let's speak on Josh Simmons, the offensive tackle out of Ohio State. So he was a Buckeye last year, and he was highly sought. He was going to be a top 15 pick, I believe, until his injury late in the season last year. He had season-ending knee surgery. So that is the reason why he was even still available to us. I love it. I love it. He was great in college for the 2 seasons that he played at Ohio State, I believe. I think it was 2 seasons, but he was great. And so it's interesting because we did pick up Jalen Moore from San Francisco to play left tackle for us this year. And some people may wonder why we didn't go with a position player, like a skill player, maybe another wide receiver, something like that. But depth is important in the trenches. And that is the main reason why we lost the Super Bowl this year. Was because lack of depth at the offensive line position. So getting Josh Simmons, this is what happens for us. This is what it do for us, allow us to do. We don't have to rush him back because we do got Jalen Moore to play left tackle. But if the kid is ready to play opening day 1, week 1, we had a void over at right tackle in Jawan Taylor for the last 2 seasons. I've been yelling at this dude, almost ready to break my TV at all the 4 starts, him allowing people to beat him. I was sick and tired of Jawan Taylor, number 74. So now, Jalen Moore could move over to right tackle if Joshua Simmons is ready to play week 1. I love it. It's interesting, too, because it's confirmed that Kingsley will be moving over to left guard and will compete for that job. So just after first round, I love what I see. Again, all Kansas City fans, we always say, in Veach we trust because he just makes the right decisions on draft day. And I think this was an A. Let's see what else we do, especially on for today. We do have, I think we have a second round pick and 2 third round picks, if I believe. I could be wrong, but 2 third round picks. I could be wrong. Now let's get into the controversy. All right. I don't like to report on other teams because it's none of my business. Right? But this is my job. So I'm going to speak on it. So again, I live in New York City, and I was telling a good friend of mine. So there was a lot of, let's give you a backstory about this. There was a lot of rumblings that Giant fans said that they were going to take Shedeur. Now, this was maybe before pro day. I think the season was still going on. All right. So this is not like after mock drafts came out and people got a chance to see what the talent was out there. Right. Giant fans said we were going to take Shedeur if he was available. If Travis Hunter was going and Shedeur was available, I've seen a lot and spoken to a lot of Giant fans who said they loved Shedeur. This was before the season ended. I told my good friend, I said, you know what? I could speak on it because he comes on the show for basketball. I spoke to Jose and I told him the Giants is not drafting Shedeur Sanders. Not at all. Now let's get to Shedeur. As we all know, and the whole sports world know, he didn't get drafted in the first round. He didn't. Now, I'm not going to come up here and make this a black or white thing because I don't think that's the reason why he did not get selected, because Cam Ward is a young black man and he got drafted number 1. I don't even think this was about Shedeur Sanders. Yes, they could. Now, I try not to listen to the media a lot, but I don't live under a rock. You can hear what they say. You hear the comparisons between, saying that he's overconfident, he's arrogant, he's this, and then you get people saying, well, Baker Mayfield was arrogant, Johnny Manziel was arrogant. I don't want to make this a black or white thing because I don't think that this the situation at all. Yes, he's confident, and yes, I know America do not like a confident black young man, especially a young, rich black young man. I understand that. But it's not about that. I think this was 100% about Deion Sanders and you not getting what you want. This was about Deion Sanders, and I think that it was orchestrated this way. Now, there's some teams who just don't need a quarterback. So yesterday I'm at my basketball game. Yes, I had a basketball game yesterday. All the unders hit on me too. So if you took me under, you hit. You hit if you took me under. We're looking at the thing. So we're looking at like the picks, and we saying that shit. When you really look at this, after the Saints didn't select him, well, the Giants I think made a great move. They got an edge rusher, I believe, and that was the right move at that moment, right? At that pick, that was the right move. Shore up that defense because Washington got a high power offense, Philly got a high power offense, and then when Dak Prescott come back, the Cowboys gonna have a good offense. So shore up that defense for the Giants, all right? So I like that pick. But when the Saints then picked him, I started looking down at the teams and I'm saying that, oh, he's gonna fall to Pittsburgh because none of these other teams needed a quarterback. So I was convinced he was going to fall to Pittsburgh, and that was like a blessing in disguise for him and them. Because again, of course, everybody want to be drafted high, but sometimes it's not about that. It's about where you get where you get drafted to, which team, the situation you're put in. When Pittsburgh didn't select him, my antennas went up. My antennas went up when Pittsburgh didn't select Shedeur. Now I don't know what that team need over there. I'm not in all their business, but that was kind of iffy. I was kind of weird. Then I said, you know what? If Pittsburgh don't select him, then I could see him falling down to the Rams, because that was the only team left in the first round who I think would probably pick a quarterback, sit Shedeur for 2 years, and let Matthew Stafford end his career. So the Rams was a team I thought that probably would get him if Pittsburgh decided to go elsewhere, in which they did. And then the Rams traded their pick. I was like, whoa. When the Rams made their trade, and I said, Shedeur ain't getting drafted in the first round, which is crazy. All right. They made a statement. They didn't draft him. But then the Giants traded up. The Giants traded up. Now I'm like, oh, The Giants traded up. They gonna take Shedeur. They gonna make me look stupid. Because I said they wasn't drafting him. If it was one team I knew wasn't going to draft him, it was the Giants. And they traded up. I'm like, oh shit. They paying attention to their division. Dak. Commanders. Eagles just won the Super Bowl. They all got something similar. Oh, the Giants paying attention to their division. Nope. I was right. They drafted Jackson Dart. Now I'm not commenting on Jackson Dart. I can't give my assessment on him. I'm not gonna do that. But who was drafting him in the first round that you had to draft up to get? You had to move up to the first round to get him. Maybe they got inside information more than we do. But who was drafting that guy? Who was drafting him? In the first round, I don't think nobody was picking Jackson Dart. Now, I said this situation was not black and white when it came to the reason why Shedeur Sanders wasn't drafted in the first round by those other teams. But when the Giants traded up back into the first round and drafted Jackson Dart, now I'm talking about the Giants. The New York Football Giants. What was wrong with Shedeur? He's perfect for New York. Flamboyant. You're going to make so much money with that kid. But I'm not going to go on a rant. I'm trying to get my guy who's a Giants fan on the show Monday. And we'll speak about that. I'll let him tell it more than I could. We're going to put a pin in that. We're going to get back to that. Now let's get to where I think Shedeur is going to land. Because he will get picked today. He will. Now it's just interesting where he may go. Cleveland have 2 picks early in the second round. Now, I don't think Shedeur want to go to Cleveland. I don't think Dion want his son in Cleveland. No disrespect to the Cleveland fans. I just don't think that's where they want their son to go. He want his son to go. And I don't think his son want to go there either. But who knows? But because they have 2 picks, one is expendable. So now, do I see the Saints or Pittsburgh moving up and trading with Cleveland to take Shedeur? Now, if that happens, I think that the Saints got what they wanted in the first round because maybe they didn't think Shedeur was a top 10 pick, and I'm not mad at that. Now you go in and you get your quarterback. I wouldn't be mad at that, and I actually want that to be a scenario. I want for sure those 2 teams to go up and take Shedeur. Because after the Browns, you know where Shedeur is going to fall to? The Raiders. They're sitting right there just waiting. And if you think about it, they went and took the running back. They got Geno. They could let Shedeur sit back for a year or 2 and learn from Geno. That is just the perfect situation for Shedeur to go with his mentor, Tom Brady, to go over there with Pete Carroll as they try to resurrect the Vegas Raiders. Please, Pittsburgh, come in and intercept that. Please, New Orleans, come in and intercept that. I don't want that. I don't. But we'll find out today as the draft continue. I'm sure a lot of controversy stuff will continue. But I'll be back with y'all Monday with two of my football analysts, hopefully two. I'm trying to get my Giants fan on here, but my cousin Nate, he'll be on here to talk about his Eagles, and he's still high off his Super Bowl.